Good morning, GM everyone. It's just me solo here today, but I wanted to take you guys on a bit of an app preview because we are getting very, very close. I know everyone's been anticipating and waiting for a long time. So thank you for your patience, everyone in the community, in the Superseed community that's been following us close. We are getting very close here to launching the new Superseed app. Um, for those that don't know, Superseed is, let me share my screen here. So Superseed, basically, we are now the strategies protocol, and all of this is kind of beginning with the stablecoin industry, which has just been up and to the right. So for those that don't know, like our whole vision, our whole strategy is to onboard or to help onboard like this trillions of dollars in capital that is sitting on the sidelines right now. That we believe is coming on chain over the next couple, probably few years here, especially like with the potential pass of the upcoming Clarity Act. I believe that a lot more money is going to be flowing on chain, and this money that is coming on chain is going to need productive ways to get used. So this is the market that we're going after, and we have rebranded ourselves as Strategies Protocol. And we're starting off like with this massive stablecoin industry, this growing sector. And basically, the idea is that you're going to be hearing a lot about vaults over the next couple of years. A lot of different protocols, different product offerings are kind of being built around this, and we want to take this to the next level. So basically, like the idea is to give this institutional capital or sophisticated capital, basically anyone that wants to earn on chain with her capital. And like in the beginning, that means like stable coins, but over the long term, this could also mean like borrowing, lending, earning yield from other assets also, because there's a lot happening like with RWAs and stable coins in particular. Um, Basically, we want to give a very simplified way of earning through these like vaulted strategies. This is the idea. So this is just a little bit of a preview of what's coming. Um, like I said, like we are moving into this strategies protocol era, and how this is going to be released is that basically the new Superseed app is going to be launching on Ethereum, and the first phase of this is going to be the strategies. So these are going to be curated vaults basically. Um, and the big difference here is that we want to provide users with like yield and earning opportunities through these curated vaults, but with a better user experience. And a key thing here is going to be like the risk management that we're going to have built in from day one. This is going to be at the core of everything that we're doing. It's just having these risk management protocols, and basically like allowing users to have the simplified vault experience where they can earn, be productive with their capital, but not have these unknown risks. So that's going to be the first phase that's rolling out very, very soon here. Super excited about that. The next phase rolling out shortly after that is going to be the money market. And this is going to be stable focused money market in the beginning because of the growing industry that is the stablecoin industry. And this is going to extend these strategies. So you're going to have even more vaults unlocked, and giving users even deeper yield and enabling things like borrowing, lending, and composable positions. And then the third phase that will be rolling out shortly after that one will be the Super USD token, which is basically a yield-bearing rebasing token, pegged one-to-one, based on its underlying. And you can kind of think of this as like it's basically a de-risking strategy in itself, but in token form. And then this is also going to unlock a vast uh, array of like a whole other borrowing, earning, and rebasing strategies. So yeah, just to give a little bit of a preview, I don't want to give everything away. We're not going to go through the entire app here today. That's going to be for an upcoming episode here when it's actually released. But basically, what we're going to be giving you the ability to do is borrow, in a very simplified way, supply in a very simplified way, and then use leverage in a very simplified way. And all this is going to be like a lot of these strategies are very, very complex. But you, as a user or a sophisticated capital allocator, you aren't going to have to um, go through all these different hops and jumps and all that sort of stuff. It's going to be very simplified for you on the front end. And it's going to be a very simplified user experience. You just simply deposit into one of these vault strategies, and we take away all that complexity in the back end. But on top of that, you're going to have a lot of different transparent risk and risk parameters, which is going to be very, very important here. Let me just share another thing. So at the heart of what we're building and that we're starting to roll out here uh, is this transparent risk reporting. So basically, like you're going to have like a very good breakdown on like, hey, what's the liquidity, what's the governance structure, what's the security risks, like with the smart contracts, what am I exactly exposed to, like how many DVN signers, like what's the risk on that part, is there any time lock risk? All of this stuff is going to be very, very clear, very transparent, and this is going to be a big differentiator because there are a lot of different ways to get exposure to yield in crypto, but a lot of them are not super transparent, and you don't exactly know, like, okay, I'm throwing my money into this vault, and it's curated by this curator, but like, what is the curator actually doing with this? Like, what am I exposed to? Um, I'm sure you've seen, like, over the past year, especially, there's been all sorts of DeFi exploits, and a lot of this uh, blindsided a lot of people, unfortunately, because they thought they were depositing into a vault that was like just for ETH, for example, but they didn't understand that, like, okay, yes, the majority of the holdings are like this variant of ETH, but like also they go through this smart contract, and then they go through this like signing profile that only requires like one of three signers or something like that, and there's just all this extra risk that people were didn't realize that they were actually exposed to within each vault and strategy. So we want to make that abundantly clear and give these risk ratings and basically kind of I think I explained this on a past episode, but like when you go into like an aggregator for swaps, you see exactly like what the route that you're going through, and you can see exactly like what you're exposed to get to the end goal. This is similarly what we want to do with risk, basically aggregating all these different risk profiles uh, and ratings together, giving you like a very transparent idea of what exactly you're exposed to in each vault, and then eventually over the long term of the product, as we roll out more features, you'll be able to fully customize this risk also and be like, okay, I don't exactly think that this this step within this strategy um, is it just a little bit too risky for me, so I want to remove that step and maybe replace it with another step that gives similar yield but is less risky. You'll be able to like kind of curate and customize that over the long term also, which is going to be very unique and very cool. Um, so yeah, again, don't want to kind of give away too much because we will be rolling out the app here soon. But I kind of want to give a little bit of preview of what's coming. Um, so yeah, definitely stay tuned to our socials, and we'll be kind of dropping a little bit more over the coming like week or two here until the actual app drops. So and then we've got like a lot planned from that also. Um, so yeah, just a little bit of a preview there. We're super excited about the rollout here. Um, just to kind of share with you, like the stablecoin industry is just a massively growing industry. We've talked about this time after time on many different super chats here. Um, but as you can see here, it's like completely up and to the right uh, since 2020. Uh, Basically, what happened here was the Genius Act uh, got passed in the United States, and this brought a ton of stablecoins on chain. So it's been just completely up and to the right since then. Um, Again, this is my personal kind of opinion, but I think many others in the industry share this. But the upcoming potentially Clarity Act that is also going to pass is going to take this to the next level. Um, like where the Genius Act kind of like brought in all these stable coins. Uh, I think that the Clarity Act is going to completely open up the old TradFi world to crypto rails. Uh, Kind of shown this a little bit in past episodes, but like you can already see like many Wall Street firms are already hiring for crypto positions. Um, they're just like getting prepared for this. And I don't know if you guys have seen the news here. Well, first I'll share this. Yeah. So we kind of left off last week's episode where uh, the banking committee was going into this hearing, and it was successful. They did pass 15-9, so it did actually like have a little bit of bipartisan agreement on that. I believe there was like 3 or 4 Democrats, and that also voted for this, so it did pass the committee, which is a big first step. And now it's going to go to the full Senate, and I believe it needs. I'll have to fact check me on this, but I believe it needs like 60 votes in the Senate, something like that, or 60%. I can't remember. But anyways, this is the next step. And right now, I believe that Polymarket has it at, let's check here, 57%. Yeah, so a little bit better than 50-50. 57% chance, lower than I expected, but I think this will ramp up over the coming weeks here, because right now it's basically like in this. They're still negotiating a few clauses in there, so hopefully this gets pushed to the president's desk by, some are saying like by June, maybe by July, somewhere in that range. But it's coming up pretty soon here. We're almost in June. We're just a few like a week or so away from June already. So this isn't too far out. I personally think the odds are a little bit better than this. Once it passes that committee, there's a pretty good chance, especially it's shown to have like a lot of bipartisan support already. Um, so yeah, I think that I would put it close to like 70%, and yeah, even the odds were up there, like 74% at one point. Slipped back a little bit because, of course, you have some of the Democrats are kind of pushing back against some of the stuff in there, and they're making it clear that they aren't going to vote for it in the Senate unless it has the some of the things that they want. The big thing is that they want to remove the conflict of interest from the bill, like just to make sure that like nobody in Congress or in the government can be investing into these things that they're regulating, basically. So I think that's the only main blocker that's kind of holding it back at this point. But I'm pretty confident that that's going to get passed, and this is going to bring potentially trillions that are sitting on the sidelines right now. Like if you look at some of the charts showing just like money market funds, which is where people in general store their US dollars to try to collect yield. There's like close to $8 trillion sitting on the sidelines right now that is yet to like in the future potentially come on chain. And all this money is going to want to be productive just like it is in the traditional world in money market funds or in bonds and that sort of stuff. They're going to want to collect yield. So yeah, this is the whole purpose of what we're building, what we're doing. Um, we want to serve this money, and not just like the large institutional funds, although that is like where a vast majority uh, of the money in DeFi and everything comes from, but also just for sophisticated investors who want to make their money productive. Um, it's going to be available to everybody, which is a nice democratizing thing about crypto. Is it makes it very easy for anyone to get the same access that yeah, big capital allocators could get um, in the TradFi world, but is usually a little bit more closed off. So yeah, just to give a little bit of a recap once again, the Superseed app is dropping soon, very soon on Ethereum, and yeah, the first step phase of that release is going to be strategies. But then very shortly after that is going to be the money market, which opens up even more strategy vaults. And then the Super USD token will be launched shortly after that. And that opens up even more strategies and opportunities. So getting very excited about this to roll this out. I just wanted to give a little bit of a preview into that. Yeah, more to come on all of that. But here's if anyone has any like questions or anything like that, I know there's quite a few in the crowd here. So get into the chat if you do have any questions. Happy to answer what I can. Feel free to join the live chat here. I'll give my best opinion on what's happening. But again, like as a full disclaimer, this is just my opinion. They don't necessarily represent the views of Superseed. And this is definitely not financial advice or anything like that. But yeah, happy to answer any questions if anyone has any questions around this. If not, in the week or weeks ahead, we'll be, as we start to roll things out here, we'll give you a little bit more of an actual demo on the actual app once it's fully polished and released. Yeah, just waiting to see if anyone has any questions. In the meantime, another interesting thing that I found this week here. So this was another recent study that just went out. Well, it was end of 2025, I guess. But basically, like, just to show how early we still are. Back in 2021, 2022, it was estimated that around 12% and then down to 10% in 2022 of all the population of the United States basically was actually like using cryptocurrency in any form, um, which was pretty low, I thought, even back then. But surprisingly, it's dropped off since then, and it's only recently started to come back up. So now, as of 2025, I would say 2026, we're probably still around similar numbers. But just to give people an idea of like when you look at a typical S curve of adoption in technology, like this is kind of like the pivotal inflection point where once you break through this kind of like 10% mark, then it goes into like the first kind of mass adoption phase when it goes from like 10%. Like we call this like the early innovator phase, the early adopter phase, but the next phase is when it goes from like 10 to like 50%, and that usually happens a lot faster if it follows a similar S curve to like other technologies. So we're still pretty early. We're still in this early adopter phase. We haven't even broke the 10% really in a strong way yet. So I always think these statistics are super interesting, just to kind of show how early we still are. And I think a lot of what's been holding that back is this unclear regulation. At least that's been holding back the traditional finance world. And we've started to see a little bit of that money come on chain with the recent Genius Act, like I said. But that really only regulated stablecoins, and that's why we've gotten this stablecoin growth since then. This Clarity Act, on the other hand, regulates the entire crypto industry and brings just more clarity, as it implies, to the industry. So yeah, it's going to be. It's going to be fun. We're excited to start rolling this out. I think just in time uh, ahead of this. So if we get like a Clarity Act passed in June, July, we'll be here. We'll be there to kind of help make all that new TradFi money that's going to come on chain, come online, and we'll be there to help make that money productive. So yeah, very excited for the weeks ahead here. For everyone that's been hanging out in the Superseed community here, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate all of you. We're going to continue to do these live streams. We've got an upcoming community call, so I'm going to invite like David and maybe some other team members on, and we'll kind of go through in a little bit more detail the new app release once it's live, and we'll answer more questions from the community. And yeah, we're excited to start rolling this out. So just wanted to give everyone a little bit of a preview, and yeah, that's basically it for this week. thanks for tuning in. Again, if anyone has any questions, just keep following along on these live streams. We're here to answer your questions. Uh, Hit us up on X, hit us up in the Discord, whatever works best for you. Follow along, but yeah, exciting times ahead, and yeah, hopefully we have some big news and an actual app release for everyone to try out the product here very shortly. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you again next week, hopefully with even more news. See you, everyone.